I think the biggest problem on the planet that Satan uses today more than anything else is fear. Fear is his number one tool. Like faith is something we operate with God. Fear is something that Satan uses to dominate the world. Fear affects everything. Everything we say, everything we do, the person we're with, the person we potentially will be with. Fear affects everything, all the decisions, all the choices you and I make. All of our reactions towards other people are based on fear. All of our responses towards people, towards our kids, towards our mate, they're all based on fear. Everything that we do comes from either one or two places. One, it comes from either love or it comes from fear. Fear is all about trying to hinder us from being what God wants us to be. That this is something that's scientifically proven that every human being, though we don't voice it, that's what we're afraid of. Life and what goes on in life, and we're afraid of what we don't know about life. That we're all afraid of life because we're afraid of death. Death is the thing, they say, that is behind governing fear. That all fear ultimately is a fear of death, fear of dying. So how can you not be afraid to die? Well, you cannot be afraid to die if you understand death, if you really understood death. Fear itself, the definition of fear is this: the thought that we are not going to be able to have something we think we need. In other words, that the person who doesn't need anything, if the person needs nothing and they're afraid of nothing, they say no fear will be in this person. So what happens? What kind of person will you become? What kind of things will we do and attempt to do if we really walk and live with no fear? Could you be all that God wants you to be? Jesus lived that way. Jesus from Nazareth, he lived a fearless life. He faced a lot of stuff, but he was fearless, even death. He wasn't afraid of death. Once death's sting is gone, when Jesus took the sting out of death, once that sting is gone out of your thinking, and someone comes to you and say, if you don't do this or give me this, I will even shoot you. And you say, you can shoot me because I'm not afraid of dying. That person loses power over you. One of the things that I've started doing since, in a prophetic way, with my eye open into the spiritual, as I started looking at this, I started looking at my own fears. And when I start feeling fear starting to paralyze me, as it does everybody, then I start asking myself a set of questions about that fear. When I noticed it swelling up in me, when it starts to overpower me, I start saying, wait a minute, because I understand today that fear is a result because, number one, I think I'm not going to get something or I'm going to lose something. That's the only way fear shows up. So the moment that feeling starts to swell up inside of me, I pause and I ask myself the question, what am I afraid of losing? And what do I think I'm not going to gain at this moment? So then what I tell myself is, listen, do I really need that? The thing that I'm afraid that if I don't get, it's causing this fear reaction. If I don't get it, what really will happen to my life? And what I really understand is nothing's going to happen to my life different if I get it or don't get it. It doesn't matter what it is. And listen, anything you think about, if you'll maintain that attitude, I'm afraid, the fear shows up because I think I'm not going to get something, or I'm going to lose something. And the moment you feel that swell up in you, pause and say, wait a minute. What will happen in my life? What will really happen if that thing didn't happen, or if I did lose that, whatever it is? And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I don't care what it is. You're going to still show up tomorrow, and life's going to go on. I don't care what it is. You think of the worst thing, you're still going to show up tomorrow, and life is going to go on. You say, but what if I die? Then you really don't need to think about it. If I let the fear stay there, then what I'm saying is, okay, I'm going to I'm going to now give in to whatever this thing is because I'm afraid I may not have this thing, I'm going to lose this. But if my attitude is, even if I lose this, or even if I don't get that, I'm still who I am.